Okay, so now we're going to proceed from where we left off by looking at Friday's trading, July 31st, and today's trading, August 3rd, on Monday. And continuing on with the understanding we gained from the last video, that we had the value area that was established on Friday in this narrow range. Now, we can recall that really it wasn't only Friday's narrow range, but Thursday, although it gapped up, most of the trading was in this range from 986 area, so you had only 7-point range there that built that value area. And the way I have set this RT Investor up, it shows you the value area for the current day is extended out in this lighter color, and that comes into play when we look at Thursday's value area. Remember from all the series of days we looked at 15-minute charts, that would be a frequent occurrence, that you have a value area established sometimes from 2 days earlier that becomes the area of consideration for the current day. Now, with that in mind, we can see that we have Friday's trading here producing this value area and point of control, but the market gapped up right off the open. It was ready to start dealing with the value area from Thursday. So this was the value area low from Thursday. You can just see the end of that purple line there, and that's the point of control from Thursday, and that's the value area high. So right away the market recognized its real target. The participants did, and were eager to come in and buy right away. Now, not exactly right in the first half hour though, because remember, we can get a lot of information by looking at the delta and by looking at the volume in combination. So this is our second bar of the day, the 15-minute bar that closed at 9 o'clock, and the market had opened around here and had, you know, this is what a lot of traders do, right? They fade the gap on a gap up like that, and they happen to be trading right around that value area high from Thursday, so there is some resistance there for sure, and very, very quickly sold off. Almost no volume there though. So on the open, all the volume was up here, the point of control. The highest volume of the bar was here at the 93.75 price, which is just one tick above the value area from Thursday, and then it just dropped immediately, but on very low volume. Now the volume here picked up significantly. Now the traders who didn't know the relationship of what was going on in the volume didn't recognize that these were all buyers. That's obvious, and this was the point of control of the bar, but there were some sellers, of course, there always are, and but the delta tells us that there were a lot more people lifting the offer on this bar, or with resting limit orders, they would be shown as the resting limit orders might be shown as people hitting the bid. In other words, they would be in that red category from the bid offer tool, but you know, those limit orders were, a lot of them were buy orders. And how do we know all this? Well, if you look right here, you can see a big gap. So those are people getting squeezed. So from the this bar's almost all the volume of this bar, there was a gap created, and that remains on the day's profile there. Very, very little volume traded, yet the bar itself was a big increase of volume on an up move. So that's very bullish. You can see the bigger volume there, and the delta was significantly stronger. And then the next bar makes a new high, but the delta all of a sudden, and the volume itself is decreasing significantly, and we could say the buyers were losing their enthusiasm, obviously, by this delta indication. More people were willing to sell as it got closer up out of the range here, let's just say. And right here on the point of control, the highest volume of this 15-minute bar, the volume didn't increase much, and the delta was weaker still. So a lot of volume on that bar, so that's where the sellers evened it up and weren't willing to, the buyers were not willing to lift the offer anymore. That was about the end of that buying interest. Well, it definitely was in hindsight. So you had some people probably thinking of it as buying a dip here, but they very quickly were forced to bail, and you had a significant negative delta on that bar as it dropped quickly down to where? Well, we don't always find a high volume spot for support. In this case, we found that gap where almost no one had traded before, and that's where all the buyers rushed in. That's the point of control of the bar. Market immediately picked up on this significant increase in the amount of people hitting the bid, so the delta's pretty good shape here. But then on the high bar, that little period of buying, the delta was negative. Of course, it's getting very low volume here, so this little tiny rally was all on very low volume and on some strong negative delta that sellers were in control. And here they got better control and managed to sell it off a few points. Still negative delta, but volume increasing there, probably because this is where all the buyers came in. Point of control just 2 ticks off the low of the bar. Point of control where it had been before in the day, a good place to buy always. So this tool really spells things out for us. We look at the point of controls in a nice big cluster there. This sell-off wasn't really strong enough, and this is probably this increase in volume here was all due to all the buyers who came in there. So now, as again a little short-term high intraday, you could have made a few ticks on the negative delta there. Whenever you see negative delta on a high bar, that's the time to take profits or sell. But it didn't amount to much, and this selling was on very low volume, as you see down here. So it chopped sideways for quite a while here, and then your breakout here was now on very high high delta and a significant increase in volume. So that's confirmed. So people kept buying here, but now the reverse, much lower volume. So the enthusiasm on the whole day wasn't really a high volume day. So it was real choppy, but it was able to hold its gap strongly, and this is the value that we ended up with on the day. Increased volume on the selling here. We'll see what that means tomorrow. But they all came back in to buy it, as you can see here on the 3 o'clock bar. But not much going into the close. Decrease in volume, decrease in delta. So just evening up here, and that's what we have. We have our clear value area high for the next day, and it's a significant number at 1,000. You put all that together, and this is going to make it real clear on Thursday. If they're gonna jam this thing up higher, you're going to have to see some increase in volume most likely. Otherwise, if you don't see that in the first hour, and if they're anywhere below this value area high, you have a great sell. But if whatever, any number of things could happen. If they gapped up, the point of control is strong support. If they if they gap down, it's going to be strong resistance probably, depending on the amount of volume you see and the delta, the buying interest, whether they're willing to lift the offer tomorrow as they approach one of these very formidable resistance points, if they are lower at any point. This is really strong resistance. If they continue to gap up, who knows? We'll see. That would be really impressive. But this is going to be stiff resistance, and you got to look at the volume numbers, because on the day, you're looking at only around 1.5 million. It's August, volume's low on this whole rally, but it still keeps going up, and nobody seems to be willing to step in and sell the highs over and over. You find that even these little tiny dips, very quickly, the buyers come in, and you never, as you can see, you were never able to see penetration of Thursday's value area high. So that's we'll leave it at that and look at the next day after it develops. Thank you.